Welcome back, artists. Today we are going to be working on adding our cool colors to the background of our Romero Brito pumpkins. I should have finished painting the warm colors onto my pumpkins. Notice I have not done anything in my background because today we are going to be adding our cool colors. Cool colors are anything that remind us of things that are cold. So think of a cold pool that you jump in, cold water. Think of dewy grass in the morning, green. Purple like nighttime, things that are cool. The cool color paints that we're going to be using are a little bit harder to tell which color is which than the warm colors that we used. So as you're working today, if you need to tip this just a little bit, it's a little bit easier now on the edges. I can see what color is which instead of sticking my brush in and getting surprised. Remember, I start with my lightest color first, so I'm gonna start with my nice light green color. I don't need to get any water yet. I'm just gonna dip my paintbrush and I'm gonna decide which spaces I want to use my light green on. I think I'm gonna do light green on my leaves. Remember, I go slow on my edges and faster on the insides of my shapes. Slow on the edge, so I stay in my lines, faster on the inside. I'm gonna paint in all of the spaces that I want with that color. Once I'm done with that color, I need to wash out my paintbrush. So remember, when I wash my brush out, I need to press it onto the bottom of my cup to get the paint out of the bristles on the inside. If I just swirl, it's not gonna clean my brush out all the way. I need to press down on the bottom, wipe off extra water on the edges, test and make sure I don't see any green on my paper towel. So I'm all clean and I'm ready to move on to the next one. I'm gonna do teal now. And I'm going to paint where I want my teal to go. Slow on my edges, especially around the shapes that I've already painted in. Remember, if I put wet paint next to wet paint, they can mix. So I want to make sure I go nice and slow on my edges so my colors don't mix together. And then I can paint faster in the big open spaces. Now sometimes with these big spaces, not so much with my little shapes, but in the bigger areas, I can make my paint last a little bit more if I add just a little bit of water to it. I don't want to add too much because I want nice bright colors, but notice I made my paint last a little bit longer just by adding a little bit of water and spreading it around. But I'm still making sure that I go slow on my edges so I don't mix anything together. As I'm working, I want you to notice how I'm painting all the way to my edges. I don't want any white showing. Now, if I paint to my edges, it's possible I might end up with a little bit of paint on my table. That's okay, we can clean that up. Because I want no white showing when I'm done. Oop, I see a little bit of white right here. I gotta fill that in. Also, it's okay for me to turn my paper so I can get to spaces a little bit easier. Instead of trying to reach over spots that I've already painted and accidentally sticking my hand or something in it, I can turn my paper to make it easier for myself. All right, I've washed out my brush after my teal. I'm ready to move on to the next color. I'm going to continue to paint in my whole background using my cool colors. Remember that shapes next to each other, so the circle and the outside part of the flower can't be the same color. They need to be different. So I could do purple on the inside and blue on the outside, and that would be okay. But shapes next to each other can't be the same color. The one place that I can leave white when I'm done are the stems here, When you're all done with your cool colors in the background, I will give you brown paint that you can paint your stems in brown. Otherwise, I am filling in my whole background, making all the white go away, taking my time and going slow, and making sure I paint all the way to the edges.